Hi, my name is Reggie Rusan. My company is Simple Tech Solution. We help companies become GDPR compliant. GDPR stands for the General Data Protection Regulation, which took effect this year in May. I have a Finnish business partner that speaks Swedish, so we're able to provide services in Finnish, Swedish, and in English, so we cover the Finnish population quite well. I started my company here because I had spent 30 years in the corporate world, and when I moved to Finland, I decided I wanted a different challenge. Investigated starting a business and found that it was quite easy to do so. It's well documented and you can get lots of good expertise and advice from the Finnish entrepreneurs societies.
Teachers are definitely the key behind excellence and equity in education. I mean, what parents want for their children is not just academically strong achievers, but they want their kids to be happy and healthy, who have the whole package to succeed really well in life. So if you're a school owner or administrator, you want to give the parents what they want for their kids. It's not only the right thing to do, but it's the clever thing to do. Hi, I'm Pirja Suhonen, the founder of ALO Finland, which is offering digital teacher training on Finnish education. Through the ALO Finland courses, the teachers will be learning with and from Finnish educators who are considered the best in the world. I often hear the argument that Finnish education cannot work elsewhere. Nonsense. I mean, obviously, there is no copy-paste option. However, there are plenty of practical examples and principles that can be applied anywhere you go. Education should be, it already is, but it could be even more global than it is nowadays. It would be silly not to learn from each other. The choice is yours. Do you want future test takers or change makers, risk takers, innovators? Invest in teachers and the rest will follow. Takers, innovators, investing teachers.
Hello, viewers. We are here again once more. An immigrant's journey in Finland. And basically, we are here to share our experience, that of our guests, and get to know more about what they do here in Finland. I have my co-host here, Mejame Christabel. You're welcome again once more, Christabel. I'm always happy, to have you here, always.
Thank you very much, Debeton. It's my pleasure. This is such an always a very exciting moment for me to get to know the stories of people like us who are succeeding within the Finnish community. And I'm always so inspired by these stories. So thank you very much for having me again once more.
Yeah, sorry guys, we had some little bit connection issue there. So you were saying, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I was saying that thank you for having me once more. It's always an exciting moment for me to be here on the show. And I'm always very inspired by the stories of every guest that I've had on the show so far. And I am very positive that today we are going to have like some very, awesome stories that will inspire and motivate a lot of us more and more in Finland, wishing to live here and make a life here. So thank you very much for having me once more to co-host with you this very important and very good show for the immigrants in Finland. Thank you.
Yeah. It's basically today we have amazing guests. Like I always like to mention, like everyone is amazing to me. And I believe that we are going to learn a lot from their experience here in Finland, what they have been through and what they are actually doing now. I believe it's going to motivate a lot of us here. I mean, those of us like hosting the show and those of you who are watching. I just want to thank all of you who have been watching, like following this program I believe you guys are actually getting something out of it. And as we keep on like bringing you more guests here, I would believe you guys will be impacted and also share with people who might be in need of a story like this. So, Mr. Bear, before we bring in our guests, like, I mean, viewers have always been watching us. Like, who is Christabel? Maybe they want to know a little bit more about Christabel, something like that. If you don't mind.
Well, I've introduced myself so many times on the show. I am Mejame Christabel. I am a mom, I am a wife, and I am a student in the Hagahelia University of Applied Sciences. I am doing my third year, and I major in marketing, and I'm also a freelance marketer. I am also a digital business owner, and I look forward to having my own marketing company, basically operating on the online space. So I really love to leverage the online space, and I'm a lover of any business that has to do with the online. So my vision is to invest in the online space as much as possible. So, and I'm also a co-host for the Debaton Show, An Immigrant's Journey in Finland. And I am, what else am I? I am the head of events in the Ambitious Africa Team Cameroon. Ambitious Africa is an initiative that was born out of the realization that the Nordic core strengths of entertainment entrepreneurship and what's the other one? What's the other one?
Entertainment.
Entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Entertainment and education.
And education, exactly. Yeah. So that they could use these strengths and collaborate with stakeholders in the African continent to bring this expertise to Africa and develop the communities there and the people there in Africa. So I am the head of events in the Cameroon team, and so far it's been a very interesting journey, and we are doing a lot of work. We are carrying out a lot of projects there. We are creating all these spaces for young people to come and pitch their ideas, business ideas, and also give them a platform where they can develop themselves and build their dreams. So wow. that is Mejame Christabel.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Betong. I'm a B2B and B2C network builder, a multimedia entrepreneur, a coach, among other things. And we are not here to talk about me anyway or Christabel. We're here because of our amazing guest, Mr. the CEO, John Samuel, and also Shefali Arora, who is an Indian living here in Finland. I don't know much about Shefali or John Samuel. Today, we are going to learn more about them. And I believe Christabel and I are so excited, to get to know more about this. So I'll bring first, ladies before gentlemen, let me come with Shefali first. Shefali, you're welcome today to this Immigrant's Journey in Finland program. Shefali, can you hear me?
Betong and Christabel. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear
you. So thank you, Christabel. Yes.
Okay.
It's nice to be here, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
Okay. Awesome to have you.
So thank you. We're happy to have you.
Yeah, we have John Samuel. You're welcome, Mr. Samuel.
Hi. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to be here, and it's a pleasure to be invited to your show, and I'm looking forward to having a very good discussion with everybody here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so
The Breton, we are having some background noises. I don't know from where it's coming.
Yes. Yeah, there is a lot of crackling sound.
And there's a lot of cracking sound.
is it okay now? Is it fine?
No.
Wow, guys.
Maybe, is it your mic?
Let's have a break and let's talk about this.
Hello?
Some technical problem, I guess.
Yeah. So, the Breton, you are muted.
Okay, so Isabel, I think maybe you can get the show going while I don't know what's happening with my mic. Can you get me now?
Yes, your mic, but we still have this cracking sound. I don't know if it's coming from your mic, but yeah, but anyways, we are going to continue while the Breton is sorting out himself. Yeah. Maybe he can mute the mic.
Yeah, I think I'm able to fix it now. Sorry guys, I don't know. It's always difficult. Yeah.
Can
maybe
you
you can continue with the show. Let me check if I can fix my mic. So just continue and let's get started. No time to waste. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are so sorry for this technical mix-up. So I'm just going to get right in. Thank you, our guests, John Samuel and Shefali. So it's we are very happy to have you here today, and we would like to know your unique journeys, how you came to Finland, why you came to Finland, how long you've been to Finland, how you started off, and how far you've gone, and to the place where you find yourself today, being successful in your respective careers. So I'll go ahead and start with Shefali. Shefali, at least our audience are always very keen to know, like, who are our guests. So if I would ask you the question, who is Shefali, and how would you describe yourself? Who would you say you are?
Okay. Thank you, Christabel. I'm a daughter, a wife, a mother of two. I'm from education, I'm an engineer. My home country is India, and my second home is Finland. I've been living in Finland since last 18 years now. And of course, I'm also vice president with Finnish Indian Society because I love learning culture. I love contributing to the culture. I love doing volunteer work and contributing to the society. I'm also board member of Moniheli, and I'm also leading India Day, which is a project of celebration of India in Finland, and it's been since 4 years we've been organizing it, and next year would be the 5th one. So I lead that project as well. Very close cooperation with Embassy of India, and also I'm general manager at Wärtsilä Corporation. I'm leading product engineering and lifecycle services at Wärtsilä, part of their information management department, and working with Wärtsilä since last 13 years now, based out of the Helsinki office. That's I am.
Wow, wow. What a rich profile. What a rich profile. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. And now we'll go to John Samuel. It's nice having you on the show. I've known you for quite a while, but it's funny that this is the first time we're getting to talk like face to face. So I am really happy for this kind of show that can give us the opportunity to get to know each other, network, and talk and share our stories. So, John Samuel, can you kindly introduce yourself to us and our audience?
Yeah, I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name's John Samuel. I am a Nigerian by birth and also a Finnish citizen. And I've lived in Finland now. Next year is going to be 12 years. My background is in football. I used to be an ex-professional footballer. I played football most part of my life. Football brought me to Finland. I played in Asia. I played in Finland. Then I played some part in Asia and some part in Africa. Then I decided to think of life after football. I began to dabble in the various stuffs. I started out I studied Kintes to Hoitaya, where I studied in Amedu. Now they call it Naitutalo. I graduated, and same time I worked in various places. Then I began to realize that there was something big about me that I need to discover myself. And that was where my entrepreneurial journey began. I decided to study personal training. I studied personal training in Trainer for You, where I became certified, and I opened my first company, which is Toy Minimi. While doing that, I now had the opportunity to, I bought a gym. I became a gym owner. So I thought to myself that the future of business is going to be quite challenging for me if I don't have my background and my basis. That was where I decided to study in Hagahelia International Business to major in marketing. So I am into more of like not only digital marketing, but more of international marketing. I used to be CEO, Director Africa and Global Marketing Manager of an IT company. Then I left the company, decided to open my own shop. So I started my own consulting company. So my own consulting company is basically based in helping taking Finnish and Nordic businesses to East and West Africa. So basically, we try to integrate Finnish and Nordic businesses to enter into market, to help them to have ease into African market. And you do understand that there's always this misconception in the media about why should not do business in Africa and all that. But then again, the reality, Africa is a growing force in the markets, and my job with my consulting company is mainly to take. We work with Finnish businesses. Right now, I'm working with about 5 to 6. I have 5 to 6 partners that we are working strongly right now with big projects in East and West Africa. And I used to own a barber shop that I sold. I built it up, I sold it. Then I own a cleaning company as well. and my consulting company. And yeah, it's been quite an interesting journey so far for me. But yeah, that's just me in a nutshell. And I'm also a father to an amazing 8-year-old bossy little princess.
Oh.
So that's it.
Wow, John. You have such a rich profile, and that was a very good spice to eat at the end about your daughter. I can say that I'm like a witness to that. I can't get enough of you and her on Facebook. You're always, showing her off. And the daddy daughter bond is just so amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, someone you have such a rich profile and you're doing quite a lot. Like your dream is so big that myself I'm quite shaking on this chair. That's such a huge project that you're doing. Yes, it's so big. It's
There are
so
so many
scary.
opportunities out there.
Mm.
The opportunities are out there. It's just to tap it, creating time to tap them and make best of what you can do.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I had some. I don't know. I think that I tried to use my phone, but it wasn't from my side. I think so. Uh, but I'm a little bit curious to just dive into the show and get to know more about Shefali. I met Shefali back then. The first time I met with her was Indian Day. That was last year, and I actually had like a brief conversation with her. And like I loved her energy. I saw her as someone who is more into community building, and her experience here in Finland. I mean, from that day got me like asking a lot of questions like who is she, how can I get more knowledge from her, based on her life here in Finland. So today is kind of like a dream come true, that I'll have length of time with her to maybe like get a lot of information from her. So Shefali, I believe I mean, back then, 18 years, that's 18 years back, maybe I didn't even dream of coming to Finland. I was still like maybe somewhere hiding in Cameroon, like, kind of like maybe a teenager trying to get out of life and so on. But now I'm here trying to walk myself through or viewers are gonna want to walk themselves through into your life 18 years back when you first came to Finland. How was it back then? Can you share with us?
Sure. Thank you, Betong. Yeah, 18 years ago when I came to Finland, I came with a very open mind because I came due to my husband's job here to Finland, maybe calling it as a trading spouse. So I came there, and my kids were young, and my main target was to get my family settled here. It was a new environment. Kids were very young, both of them, and that was my target. I was working in India back then in IT and telecom industry, and so it was a bit of a difficult decision to leave everything and come here. But family takes the precedence over everything. So I came to Finland, and back then it was interesting coming to Finland from a city called big capital city of India, Delhi, which is my basically home city that I come from, and I tried to, and that time we came to Vasa in what is it, northwest of India, of Finland, Vasa city, sunniest city of Finland, which is called as, and we were there trying to learn what are the ways to survive in Finland. It's that was something that we were learning, and back then, as I wasn't working, I was trying to get the family settled, and slowly After a few months, my journey began to explore what can I do here, and that's how the journey began. And then we shifted to capital area. I'm living in Vanta, so we shifted here, and I started to learn Finnish language because that was something that I basically kind of determined that if I want to integrate to this society, the best thing would be, the first step would be to learn the language, so that you can learn the culture, you can communicate with people, at least you can survive in this country. And that's how I started. I started to learn the language, and then slowly and slowly got into the working life here, and
Yeah.
today here I am.
I see you are really involved in like connecting India and Finland. It's kind of like Finland has a good relationship, with India. Can you say you are kind of like you play a little bit role, in that? 'Cause I see you host a lot of events, like India, Finland, kind of something like that. Finnish Indian Day, something like that. I'm a little bit curious, like how did you manage to pull, this through, and have you been involved like kind of like fully in connecting Finland and India, and how that happened?
Yeah, thanks, Betong. It's a very good question. So I'm vice president of a society, a friendship society called Suomi Intia Seura, or Finnish Indian Society, which was established in 1949, which is about now 71 years old society. And our society's aim is to build cultural bridges between Finland and India. And we of course organize multiple events, and since 5 years we've been organizing the biggest Indian event in Finland called India Day. And India Day is all about kind of celebrating India, showcasing India, celebrating friendship between India and Finland, showing all the various aspects of India that we have, not only culture, but also the business, technology, the cuisine that we have, the rich cuisine that we have, rich traditions that we have, rich culture that we have. And this project is all about the teamwork. And I have a very good and motivated team of people who are working. We are all working together to do this event every year. This year we had to cancel, but next year we have it at Rautan Tietori on 22nd of August 2021. And we have already started to prepare. So uh, it's a community event. Here we are trying to connect not only Indians but also Finnish people, also other citizenships. Like there are a lot of my friends who are coming there who are not only Indians, or they come from all nationalities, and that is the richness there. That we celebrate diversity as well there, because diversity is richness, right? It is what we need to celebrate all the time. It is inclusiveness that we need to celebrate. It's the friendship between two countries that we need to celebrate. It's thankfulness, thanking Finland that it's giving us a good base as immigrant community to be here, to get involved in the society, give our contributions to the society, and live here with family peacefully. And that's what we try to do. That this event is also about raising all the funds and getting a lot of support from different partners and collaborators that we have. So in nutshell, it's all about India on that day.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned there's something I want to pick from this, like before I hand over to Christabel. What I want to get from you, like more, is they had you mentioned diversity. Yeah, I mean, I believe, but diversity is something good because we are all foreigners living in Finland. Back then and now, what do you think works worked back then, and what is working now? I mean, if say someone like an immigrant now in Finland, how is a community building or belonging to a community like that will impact an immigrant here in Finland? You know, and how can people or other immigrants copy? What do you think they can learn from your experience? You know, building this community like back then until date.
Yeah, I think as an immigrant, first of all, we need to have a very open mind and adaptable attitude, because that is what is very important. And we need to have a positive attitude, because it's not very easy to come and first of all integrate yourself in the community, and also try to contribute to the community. It all starts to happen with it needs to be from within yourself, uh, because nobody is going to come and give you anything on your plate. You need to find the plate, you need to serve the food, and you need to then eat it too, right? I mean, you can get support during this whole process, but still it's you who needs to collect all the motivation and energy to be out there, to build your own confidence, will help you to carry yourself, to contribute, and also have your kind of I would say the language is something that is very important. I know many of our friends and many of the known people. Finnish is a very difficult language, I would say. I mean, it's not an easy language to learn, but can we can of course live without learning Finnish. But then, if we want to really build community and really exchange the cultural things with this with Finnish people, you need to also understand their language and their culture. So I think that is something I would really I've learned it, that there is no kind of other way about it. Openness, learning the language, having a motivation to adapt, and
Okay.
positive attitude. I think those are the things that I would say are very important, because at the end of it, the magic always lies in outside the comfort zone. You need to step out. If you are always trying to be within your comfort zone, then how will you build relationships? How will you build the community? And how will you really build your own confidence to be in a new foreign country when you are coming as an immigrant?
Wow. Amazing.
Um,
Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, that's Shefali, what you've said is really important. And for all the guests that we've had on the show so far, very um everyone has been very particular about learning the language and how it's helped them, and how they were able to integrate very quickly because they learned the language. Thank you so much for that very great expose of all that you have achieved, and what you've been able to do, and how we need to also tap into your your procedure, what you followed, and learn from that. So John Samuel, now over to you. I don't know if you can hear us very well. This
Yeah,
cracking on the screen, I don't know.
I
Well,
heard everything
12
that
years.
Shefali was saying.
Okay. 12 years in Finland is quite a long time. I've also been here 12 years. So it's really quite a long time. I remember those days, Finland was quite cold and we felt so lonely and everything. So how were you able to manage all like the new environments, the culture, the cold, the quiet thing kind of lifestyle? How were you able to walk yourself through that challenge? I mean, as a footballer, I know how footballers, they are very agile people. So how were you able to adapt to this kind of lifestyle?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Yes, I remember vividly well when I first moved to Finland, and to be honest, I knew it was cold, but I nobody told me it was going to be freezing cold. So uh, yeah, um, for football in the face in during my era as footballer, it was a very difficult experience. I mean, think about coming from Africa, where the least weather we could get is plus 25 or 30. And I remember I left Nigeria when we are around 35 to 40 degrees, then coming to Finland and to a weather that is -3, -5. It was a very difficult transformation for me. I remember the first practice, the first week was indoor, and even with the indoor practice, it was still cold. Like I don't know if you have ever been to any of this Yal Kapalo Hali. You will be surprised that there is snow outside, but even
Yeah,
the indoor is colder than outside.
outside.
So yeah, it was quite not a funny experience then, and but yeah, it was tough. It was tough. At some point, for me, it was all about a mental thing. Um, every time there comes these difficulties in life in general. Before I came to Finland, when I come across difficult, and I'm always having two options: quit or keep moving. And I've never been a quitter in my life. No matter how difficult things are, I either go over it or go through it, but I never go back. So I've had that mentality for a very long time, and come to Finland facing the weather, it was so difficult. And for me, it was like no excuse. There's no excuse. And there's this funny thing in my head that I'm always saying. I remember then when I see Africans, on the streets who have been living here, then I tell myself that if these people can survive in this weather, then I have no excuse for myself.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, but yeah, it was quite a challenging thing for me. But to be honest, I would say that the weather itself was not as challenging as the language. The language was the most challenging thing for me at that time. It was really challenging, and I would say it's the one thing, the biggest thing that was like my turnaround for the language was when I became a father. And I remember when my daughter was going to the daycare, the 5 or 40 then, you know, at home, I speak English with her. But I remember like after like 2 weeks, my daughter came back home and she was already saying some Finnish words, really fluent Finnish words to me. And it hits me. And I was like, okay, so it means that I have to be able to communicate with my daughter if she's going to finish daycare. And that was like the big turnaround for me. But the real fact was that learning language as an immigrant is always challenging if your circle are people who speak English or people who speak your native language. So that is the big challenge. But then again, if you are able to mentally go out of that circle, I'm not saying you should leave your friends, but be able to understand that you need to learn the language, then that is really good. Because just like what Shefali said earlier on, that um, you can survive in Finland without learning the language, but the fact still remains that there is no way to integrate into the community or the society without learning the language. Then I saw a huge turnaround for me when I began to learn the language. It wasn't easy. I said to myself, I have to learn excuse. For example, I do not complain about the language for me. I do not complain because I keep asking myself, what about if a Finnish person, for example, comes to my country, Nigeria? Nigeria, as at a couple of weeks ago, we are now 206 million. And there are in Nigeria alone, there are over 500 indigenous languages, about 800 indigenous languages. It means statistically, if you see 10 Nigerians, there is a chance 5 or 6 of them speak the same language. So think about it. Finnish is 1. Nigeria is over 500. So I had to learn the language, integrate. And the moment I did, I saw a massive change. I was able to communicate with Finns, and it is really easy to talk and understand. The good thing about the Finns is that you don't necessarily need to speak the language fluently. You could mumble words together. You already understand what you are about to say. So that was the key for me. I would say that was my aha moment when I learned the language. It was me to integrate. So yeah, the beginning was not easy, but I had to find a way for myself.
I think
that's very
I
good.
think we have a question for Shefali here from Elizabeth Eta. Elizabeth Agbo, she's asking, Shefali, can you kindly describe your career journey in Finland and how you got to your current position? I don't know if Shefali, you want to answer that. Like, how did you become the general manager? I think maybe that's what she's asking.
General manager and engineer Wärtsilä. Yeah.
Sure, I can take that. So I'll take it from when I started to learn the language, and of course, once I started to learn language, I wanted to practice the language as well, and I started with the job practice in a library and trying. My main aim was to learn the language, and that's where I started. And in the meantime, I got into Nokia, and I got in a job in Nokia. I started from very beginning. I mean, whatever I was doing in India, it didn't matter. I had to start from the beginning, and I started working with Nokia through a company, and then I worked with Nokia for about 2.5 years, and then I got into Wärtsilä. When my whole area is engineering, so product engineering and lifecycle management, and that's my field, and that's how I started. So I started from very beginning, and I kept on applying and trying to get to a job which is kind of what I wanted to do. So
okay. I mean, this leads me to ask only one question.
Can I?
Okay, yeah, it's okay, yeah, okay.
Did you want to say something?
No, I wanted to ask, but I can ask later. It's okay. Just
no, follow up with Shefali.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up. Like you are the general manager of this company. What are some tips you can give out there to people who might want to work in this company, like when they are applying for jobs? What are some tips that you kind of like want to give to them, like if they're applying for jobs?
So basically, Wärtsilä is a global company, and we are about 19,000 employees in 200 locations all around the world. And all the jobs which are open in our company are open through our .com site. And you can always look through if you are interested in any of the jobs and apply. I mean, there's a very open procedure that we have in Wärtsilä. It's a very people's oriented company, and the HR process is very open. So
Okay.
anyone can
Yes.
apply through the .com site. So that's how I
Actually,
applied, and that's how everyone applies at Wärtsilä.
Actually, today I was able to create an account with with Wärtsilä's, like job search engine, something like that. Like they have, like you have to create an account with them, and then they can always maybe notify you if there is like open vacancies in their company, so you can just go straight away and apply. So it was really interesting for me to see that the company has like their own space for that. Exactly. And I've created an account. Who knows? Maybe I can get a spot in Wärtsilä someday. Yeah. So, John, I was going to ask you this question.
Can you please give me John for 1 second? It's like I'm missing him. I just want to talk to him. Come on. This is not fair.
One question. One
This is not
last
fair.
question.
Okay,
for John.
you can ask the last question then.
John, the better you make me laugh. Are we not fighting for John? So when you were introducing yourself, you mentioned your involvement in like your company, Joestar Consulting. You're kind of creating this, establishing this partnership between the Nordic and West Africa. Maybe for now you're doing for Nigeria. So like, what are some of the challenges that you are facing, like trying to establish this kind of relationships between the Nordic countries or investors and Nigeria? Giving some of the stereotypes
Well,
that are
quite an interesting
business in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent question. One of the biggest challenges that I have faced and other have also faced is the misconception of this idea about Africa not being a good place to invest. And like you just mentioned, this stereotypical perception of Africa. And the truth is, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. If you look at the world GDP alone, the growth of Africa is going really strong. And Africa is the next thing. And think about the Chinese right now. The Chinese are deeply invested in Africa because there is something in Africa that the rest of the world is not actually seeing. And like our people will say in Africa or in Nigeria, that ants don't just gather in a spot if there is no sugar in that place. So there is something there, and right now the challenges with the Nordic countries and the businesses and the business owners is just to change the mindset, to help them understand that there is something in Africa that is worth taking them to. And that is the biggest challenge for me so far, myself, my business partner, and my team, is helping to bridge that gap. We have had experiences in trying to discuss some businesses, for example, IoT and tech industries, taken to establish in Africa. And then we want to change the misconception that most of these Finnish countries, they think, or the Nordic countries, the businesses, they think that the corruption, the political overview in Africa is always too difficult for them to invest in Africa. And some part true, some part false, and that is why it's very important to have locals to work back home with the right network to introduce the Finnish businesses, the Nordic businesses to Africa. And for example, I partnered with an organization called Nearbeck, Nearby is owned by a Finnish and African businessmen. And what they do is that they create forums for business ventures, like a business matchmaking event where they bring East African businesses, private and public sectors, with the Nordic, private and public sectors to an event where they do a matchmaking event. So this was, they did this last year in Kenya. It was quite really amazing. Over 100 participants. We had people like CEOs and ambassadors. They came and it was quite really impressive. There will be another one this year, but they have to postpone it to next year. One for next year is going to be in Kenya and also in Uganda. And I am also channeling the one for Accra, Ghana, and Lagos. So the big thing about this kind of event is allowing the Nordic businesses and business owners to be able to meet the right network in Africa, meet the right people. Market entry to Africa is very difficult. In any form of market entry you want to think about, name it, or whatever mode of market entry to Africa is really difficult. But
because of the
if
bureaucracy.
you do have the right network, exactly, the bureaucracy and everything that I don't want to discuss online, but it's just challenging. So, but if you are opportune to meet the right network, the right people in Africa, then your market entry is really easy. Really easy. For example, now, like Shefali said about Wärtsilä, I've done some research about Wärtsilä as well, and it is quite an amazing a company, an organization. So, for example, if Wärtsilä is thinking about doing business in Africa, they need the right network for a better market entry. Otherwise, it will be very difficult, to do it the right way. This is where I come in. So we do all this, research, getting them the right network, getting them the right contact, and create a very good, people business cohesive network for them. So it has been quite interesting. No, regardless, it's quite interesting. And yes, Africa is the next thing. Believe me, is the next thing.
Wow. Wow, that's really a huge work, a huge job, John, you're doing there. I have just one last question for you, maybe not the last, I think, but now I can see that you're deeply into entrepreneurship, like from a footballer into an entrepreneur. This is like, it's not the path you want to see most footballers taking, and I think like you're doing so well, and then in Finland for that matter. So I just wish to ask, like, how does it work in Finland, like opening and owning a business here? The procedures, the various stages that you have to go through, like getting the business registered, and what challenges do you face, like for people that want to really have businesses here? I know that a lot of immigrants are finding it difficult having their own businesses here. Like if they can't get like jobs in the field of specialization, they also want to have like businesses, but they also feel like it's also a very difficult path for them to take. Like how were you able to get your advice can you give for immigrants who want to also like open their own businesses and become self-employed?
Interesting question, and thank you much, Miami. I love that question. Every time people ask me the question, and my responses are always like it's the same. It's passion. For the word entrepreneur sound really fancy, but trust me, it is not as fancy as it seems. It takes a lot from you to establish in the world of entrepreneurship. But let me begin with how it all started. For an immigrant in Finland, if you want to start your business, Finland has created a system to make it quite very easy for you to start your business. And how you get to be able to, start from the scratch to build your business, the process, what to do when it comes to the tax system, how to run your business, and all that. There are, education for this, and it is quite amazing. So, for me, one thing I always tell people is that when it comes to Finland, if you want to do something successfully, try to get information from the authorities. In any industry you want to start your business, make sure you get direct information from the authorities, from the people who are the organization or the body in that industry.
No,
And
yes.
no, yes, exactly. It is a lot of misinformation goes when you ask friends. Yeah, you can ask friends. For example, when my friends ask me, I tell them how I started. Then I also make references to ask the authorities as well, because information is updated every time. What I may have known 5 years ago may not be the same now. So to be an entrepreneur, always begin with asking yourself, what are you passionate about? What is that thing that you would love to do? And that was how it all started for me. It all began for me with what I was passionate about. And if it is all about the money, there is a different catch to that. But what you are passionate about will last you much longer because there is joy in doing it. And when I started this journey, it all began for me as a certified personal trainer. I loved it. I helped a lot of people who would want to, have a body transformation. For me, it was all about the goal. I always tell my client then that it's all about the goal. My goal is if you are about, let's say, 100 kilograms, and I end up seeing you going down to 70, 75 kilograms, that is the goal for me. That is the passion. That is the beauty of what I do, to see that I've been able to transform someone's life. And it all then continued to every other businesses I'm involved in. But what I'm going to say right now is this: entrepreneur, you have to be resilient. There are going to be a lot of challenges coming at you. When I started, I can tell you for a fact, there are certain times of my entrepreneurial life that I had zero euros in my account. Zero in my account. In fact, there are some drafts that I was even owing the bank. At this point, I was at this point where I had it in my head, John, okay, maybe you have to go back to the job you had. But I was resilient. I kept pushing. This never say die attitude. As an entrepreneur, you must have this thing called resilient. You have to be resilient. There are going to be challenges. Challenges are going to come no matter how you think of it. No business starts today and goes up. Look at iPhone, for example. If you look at the history of Apple, all the biggest companies in the world, at some point they had their hiccups. There's always going to be hiccups at some point. There's always going to be trouble at some point. But the question is this: is it trouble enough for you to quit, or enough to challenge you to forge ahead? So that was how it all began for me when I kept moving and moving. And yes, as an African, you're always going to get setback in the business. Running businesses, there are always going to be comments here and there. Don't listen. Keep pushing, no matter what. I remember how when I started as a personal trainer, I will post my businesses on Facebook group. And people just go there and write, No, this guy's a scammer. No, this guy is fake. You know, comment like that. There are so many comments.
It's a living witness. So that's why they comment. Have you been called scammer?
You know,
Yeah, of course, it's normal. It's normal.
yeah,
Yeah, but
it's always there. You know, we put that phrase, oh, another Nigerian prince.
yeah, but
They are all there.
I think we have to move fast. You know, like guys, if you want to know more on how to start a business in Finland, you can get to book an appointment with John Samuel. I think you can have like a one-on-one moment with him and get more information from him. You know, but before. Like I've been so jealous that Mr. Ben have colonized you like monopoly here today. Mr. Ben monopolized you today, so but I'm still gonna come anyway to slay you a little bit
So
with
you
some
can ask
questions.
your question.
Yeah, but I want to go to Shefali first before I come to you. Shefali, you as a mom in Finland. Shefali, are you with me? Is Shefali there?
I think she
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
she's there now.
Shefali is here now.
Yes, I
Shefali,
am.
can you hear me now?
Crackling quite a lot. The voice
Oh,
is a lot crackling.
Okay. Anyway, why Shefali try to fix that? Let me go to. Okay, so I think she's back. Shefali, are you now available?
Yeah,
Okay, let me just go to.
but your voice is crackling quite a lot.
Okay, John, can you really get me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me go to you first before I go to Shefali. When was that moment, that you found yourself, like you have been going through this journey in Finland? When was that moment that you actually decided that, okay, this is it, this is what I want to do, and how did you go about it?
Okay. It's a short story. Like I said earlier on, I used to be Kintes to Hoitaya. So I studied it for 2 years. I did the job for 2.5 years thereabout. Then I remember every time when I was working every day, I was really great at my job. I was earning good money, but I was earning really good money, but I was not happy. It was really difficult experience for me that mentally I was not happy. That was the point I realized that indeed money is not doesn't really give you happiness. Every time I was working all those periods, I realized there is this voice coming in my ear telling me, "Is this who you are? Is this who you are?" I don't know. It was really a very scary moment for me. So one day I sat down at home. I was going through my Facebook. I put on the TV. I got back home. I was really tired. Then I went through my Facebook. Then I saw something, a video saying, "Let me explain time." I went through the video. It says, when we were born to the age of 15, everything was done for us. But from the age of 15 to the age of 65, you are spending your entire life working and building business for somebody else, working the life 7 to 3 or 9 to 5. And you are praying every day for Friday to come before you can actually leave. So probably you are surviving Monday to Thursday, and Friday you decide to leave. So that really hit me deep down. So I began to dig deep within me. As Kintes to Hoitaya, do I have a future? Because for me, naturally, I'm a natural leader. I'm proactive. I'm reactive. I'm a thinker, planner. I did not see myself to be able to grow in that job. So that was where I began to think, what is that one thing I've been doing that I'm really good at? I realized it was sports. So I started out as a personal trainer. And as a personal trainer, you should be able to sell. No matter how good you are, if you are the best personal trainer in the world, if you don't know how to convince somebody to give you €1 to help them, then you are in trouble. So I had to learn to sell. Then I realized I was really good at selling. I was really good at marketing. I was really good at business.
wow.
And that was how it all began. for me to started my journey in business, to learn business. Then I saw the bigger picture. And that was the moment I realized that my natural skills are in business, in marketing, and in sales. I'm very creative. My creativity, it was like I'm in my element when I'm doing business in general. And I'm very open to learn, very, very versatile. So I'm a serial entrepreneur.
It's like you're going
I
to be
get
partnering with,
bored.
with Christabel soon, because that's a marketing guru as well. So you guys can slay Africa together.
We had a conversation back on the background.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he told me
Yeah,
everything
so-
about it. Are you kidding me? You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
for
can
me,
relate.
the opportunity is immense. It's out there. But I had to dig deep within me to find who I am. Who I am. Because there are so many people walking around the world. To be honest, sadly, they don't know themselves yet. So you have to discover yourself. I discovered myself. I realized that I am good at this. And this is what I can do. So that was when my friends asked me, dude, how do you really have time to do all these businesses? Then I asked him, Jeff Bezos, Bloomingdale, Bill Gates, all these billionaires, they all have the same 24 hours. They all have the same 24 hours that we do. But how come these guys are making billions? It's because they compartmentalize their time. They prioritize their time. They had time to focus to discover themselves. Amazon was just a business, a platform, books. But today, Amazon can do just about anything in the world. So that's the beauty of discovering yourself. So that is something that really helped me. I really took that time to discover myself, and it really helped me in my entrepreneurial journey.
Okay. I
Wow.
also I'm a little bit curious. There are, you mentioned you are trying to connect the Nordics and Finland. I'm sorry, and Africa, like Nigeria. How unique are you in terms of the services that you provide? Because I think there are so many organizations out there, or so many people doing similar things. You know, well, how different are you, and are there possibilities to collaborate with others? Of course, it's all about connecting or doing business or showing how Africa is, in terms of business. Can you give us a little bit,
Yeah.
like navigate us through that process?
In marketing, there is what we call the unfair advantage, and there is what we call competitive advantage, comparative advantage. Any business you think of in this world, there is always going to be competition. But the question is this: you need to find what is your unique value
Selling point.
proposition.
Yeah.
You understand? What is that unique value proposition? In any industry you think about in this world, there are competitors, there's always competition, but every businesses in that industry always have their unique value proposition.
So,
And that is where
how are you unique? How is your company unique now from these other companies? Like, what makes you different?
The difference for me is my is a niche market. I don't just take all companies to all businesses to Africa. Africa is too big. When people say I do businesses in Africa, you can't say you do businesses in Africa. Africa is too big. I mean, there are over 54 countries in Africa. Think about it. So mine is a niche market. So my business is focused on Finnish IoT tech company. I work with them in East and West Africa. And my uniqueness is my marketing research skill. I first of all do a deep, detailed research on the parent company I'm consulting for. Then I find their target market in the East and West Africa.
West Africa.
Then I create value. I need to create value for them to tell them why this is what you are going to get if you invest in that. So it is demand and supply thing. So there needs to be a demand for the services here in Finland. So if there's demand, of course, there is a supply. But don't get me wrong. There is a uniqueness about the Nordic businesses, especially in Finland, when it comes to tech. Finland has one of the best tech, in the world. You guys can attest to that. So that uniqueness is an advantage, or I would say a comparative advantage, living in Finland and working with or IoT companies here in Finland. Then finding demand in Africa is another thing. So, for example, let's say there is a demand in Ghana for a TMS, transport management system. So this demand is there, the supply is there. It is now my job to find the uniqueness of the company here and the uniqueness of the industry in Ghana, find the bridge, then create a proposal, and then sell. And don't forget, I know how to sell.
So what you're saying is like the market research aspect of it is like you actually make sure you do a proper market research to actually understand like which direction to take, like because of course, like what will stop someone else to come to the market and kick you out of business, like doing the same thing, the same industry, the same stuff. So I think what you've mentioned is like the reason why I'm asking this question is because I mean, I don't know who is watching. Maybe someone, there are companies out there in Finland who might want to, go to maybe Africa or Nigeria. Like, why would they come to you? Why would they choose you as that bridge to get to the market? Why would they want to work with you? Why are you not like other company out there? So that's why I had to ask this question to get clarification.
Exactly, and it is a very good question, because I have my partners who are on the ground, and I have my network in these regions in their public and the private sectors. And it's also good to enlarge your network. For when it comes to consulting and getting network, you need to take the concept of the misguided perception of greed. You cannot be greedy. You must learn to find a win-win solution. Sometimes you may not have the network, the direct contact. It is possible to work with another consultant or a partner who may have the direct network, and you work together. So you create this kind of ecosystem. The goal is to provide the service, no matter how we do it. So that is what I basically do myself. If I don't have the direct network in a certain industry, in a particular place, what I do is I consult my partners who may have contact there. Then it's all about the commission base, and everybody goes home happy. It may sound that easy, but in reality, it takes a lot of deep research, and you have to be very convinced.
Okay. I think very soon we have to go, but before we go, let me just like ask one last question from you. Already out of time.
What are the audience saying? Do we have some comments from the audience?
Yeah, I'm gonna read some comments before we go, but let me just ask one last question from John Samuel. You have been living here for 12 years, and you have seen people coming, like immigrants coming into Finland, and you have witnessed most of the challenges that they face here in Finland. I know you have mentioned some aspect, and now I want to bring it like to be more like direct, like to focus on this aspect of the challenges that immigrants face in terms of integration and getting to the system or finding their why, getting to like getting themselves reliable, like just like to get integrated to the system. Now, what I want to know is what works for you, that you think immigrants can copy from your experience, what worked, and how do you want people to relate with that, to use it as a stepping stone, to get or to move forward in their journey here in Finland.
Thank you very much. A very interesting question again, amazing. And I'm happy to explain. I would say this, and I hope there are enough immigrants watching this program. And the fastest and the best way for you as an immigrant, especially for Africans, to be able to integrate really fast into the society is mental reprogramming. Why I said so, this is not an easy process. You need to be able to reprogram your mind. Now, there is a very good reason why I'm saying this. Africans, we are blessed with culture. Naturally, we have a lot of cultures and a lot of things that we follow and we do in Africa. Now, when you come to a society where certain things you do back home seems odd here, it is not done here. Now, it now comes to you, how you reprogram your mind. And not just reprogramming the mind, you must have an open mind. An open mind to be able to understand that this is a different society and this is where the culture is completely different. I will give you an example. Like in my culture, in my country, you don't give people anything with your left hand. You give with the right hand. Okay? And when Finns try to give you something with the left hand, you might want to say, no, you have to give me with the right hand. So, but you still have to take it regardless. So this is like the mindset. And we need to be able to have a way to respect culture. Keep our culture and be open-minded to respect other culture. And that way it is easy to integrate faster. There are certain things that you may do in your country that you can't do here. And you have to be open-minded to accept it, regardless. So this is how it is for me and how it happened for me. My first 3 years was really tough for me to integrate. But at some point, I began to learn to have a very open mind. And having an open mind helped pave the way for the integration, not just the language, but the mindset. It needs to be reprogrammed in such a way that we keep hold of our culture and we try to be open to learn new cultures and respect the culture. So because, for example, in Nigeria, we have certain things we do in our, like if a Finnish person goes to Nigeria now and the Finnish person buys something, wants to pay, and the Finnish person wants to give with the left hand, they won't take it. So the Finnish person needs to learn that they don't give people things with their left hand in Nigeria. Or I don't know how it happens in other. So now it is now for them to reprogram themselves to be able to have an open mind to understand and respect the culture. So it's both ways. But lastly, when it comes to integration, I've always said this, and I would like to make it even say it live. I think one of the biggest problems that is happening in Finland, why the integration system is not really working effectively, is because that the system is built in such a way that immigrants are compelled to learn and understand the Finnish culture, but not the other way around. The Finnish government or the Finnish society needs to create a forum or a system whereby they can also teach things to be able to integrate, learn the African culture or the Arab or the Asians culture. That way, it is easy for everybody to understand each other. Like there are programs for Africans to learn Finnish culture, and to be like events or seminars where they can invite Finnish locals so that they can hear stories of Africans or Asians who come to work here, so that they will understand why we came here. We are in the 21st century, and some people wonder, why do Africans come here? They still don't know the story. So we need that forum to tell the story so that they can know. Then it gives that good room for integration for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
And I think this program is actually creating that opportunity for Africans to be able to tell their story, why they migrated to Finland, and how they have been able to integrate themselves, how they have been able to adapt their cultures to the Finnish culture or the other way around. And I can relate to the fact when you said that Finns have not really learned to adapt to the cultures of foreigners, be it Africans, Asians, or Americans, or for wherever the foreigners are coming from. And I think that even in school, in my class, I've always had these differences with my classmates. I feel like they have not learned to adapt to my culture, to my way of life, and we are always having little disagreements and stuff like that. And I'm always telling them, you need to learn to adapt. You need to learn to adapt, and it's okay that people might just find it a little bit difficult to adapt to your own culture. But it's your right that they should adapt just like you are trying to adapt to theirs. So that's a very good point that you mentioned.
Maybe because you take the comments. Let's go with the comments, and see what people have been saying here.
Okay. Teresa Bibola is saying, looking forward to hearing from the guest. Okay. Next one. Good evening, you all, from Elizabeth Agboita. Barbara Tolbonen, interesting. Teresa Bibola, diversity is strength and provides exceptional opportunities. I think that's when Arora was talking. And Hiram Kulkarni, great to see you both, Stanley and Shefali Arora. And the beton. Elizabeth Agbo says, it is really interesting to see the various hats immigrants wear, not just finding their place and surviving here, but also trying to connect their various home countries with Finland. That is very interesting. Kudos to Samuel. And Elizabeth Agbo, it has said, Shefali. Okay, yes, she answered this question. And Abia Bang says, Shefali, I learned a lot from what you said. And Abia Banks again says, good program. Thank you. David Concept Alhaji says, I can relate to the story of John. We knew it was cold, but nobody said it was going to be freezing cold. Because that's you get by experience. Yeah, that's right. Teresa says, that is the truth. So much is hidden in the language. It is appreciated when you at least try to speak Finnish. That's right. All our guests have been very like saying language. And Elizabeth says, very good point, Samuel. You find your big why and motivation to learn the language. Wow. From your cute daughter. And Georgiana first sang our candidates. Says, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Georgiana. And Georgiana is saying, hello, John and Shefali. Hi, Georgiana.
I know Georgiana.
Okay. you know, Georgiana is going in for the municipal elections for the city of Vanta. Yes. So we are looking forward to give her our vote.
Amazing.
Yes, she's doing very well already. Yes, and Barbara Tobin is saying, I have just started. Yeah, I think she. What has she just started?
Business.
A business. Oh wow! Congratulations, Barbara. She said she just started my in health and beauty. Wow! Congratulations, Barbara. More grace. And David Concept is saying, John, that's brilliant. And your understanding about terms and business and trade between Scandic regions and Africa is great. We are learning. Thank you. Abia Banks, thanks John for educating us about open in business. I'm into fashion and design. Wow, Abia Banks, she's she's so much into business. True to be your own marketer, Abia Banks says again. And Abia Banks again, I'm still learning. Abia Banks, there is more to learn from this program. Dr. Elizabeth says business is not always about competition. Most times collaboration is what we need to reach our goals faster. That's very correct. And someone was talking a lot about collaborations and partnerships. Yes, the right partners and the right people. And Teresa says you nailed it, Samuel. Having an open mindset and understanding that you are in a different society with a different culture. Two-way communication between both cultures. Teresa says again, exactly. You can only understand each other if you both learn about your respective cultures and backgrounds. That's very correct. Barbara Toberman, when Finnish people want to understand African culture, they do go to Africa. That's right. And we are right here. We can learn it from us, Barbara. They don't need to go all the way to Africa.
Africa is already here.
Yes, Africa is already here. And Barbara says, since we are in Finland, we have to accept the Finnish culture. That's very correct. We do accept, but we also want to feel like we belong. You know, it has to go two-way. And Georgiana Fosan says, it's always a pleasure to learn from others. That's very correct. Georgiana Fosan says again, yes, John, that's my coach. And she says, thanks, John. Hey, John, you're the star. And Georgiana
I'm
says,
now, John.
Yes. Oh, okay. She said, when I was serious, I lost 7 kg with John in 4 months. Wow. Wow, John. John, so when summer comes, you should gather all of us. Look at me. I need to take some of this. Just some summer, you know. Next time we put even, 5 euros on the ground there. And you gather everything at the end of the session. 2 minutes, and let's take up something.
Was a very...
Hey, John. We just dropped 5 euros.
We can discuss.
40.
Okay, guys. Well, I think we can continue this conversation, behind the scene.
Behind the scene. So,
it was such an awesome, like show today, having John, Samuel, and Shefali, Arora. It was awesome, and I believe that our viewers have benefited something. Looking at the comments or reading the comments, I saw that many people have been inspired and learned new things from John, especially, and
Shefali.
Shefali have to leave. She was having some poor issues, and now she has to leave us. But I think she already had a nice moment with us, sharing her experience with us. Most people can relate at one point, even though she came like 18 years old, 16 years ago. So I just want to acknowledge all those who have been, making this possible. All of you who have been watching, you guys are awesome. John, thanks for coming here today. It's always awesome to have Christabel here as well. Looking at her beautiful face, nice smile. It's like always going to have you here always. And shout out to Dr. Elizabeth Eta for always being there, and also one of the co-hosts of this program. And not to forget our able graphic design, person, the person who designed our poster, Martin Folefak,
all the way from Cameroon. He's making it. Yeah. Hi, Martin. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I don't know, John. If you guys, those of you who are watching, if you have a story you want to talk to us, like reach out to us. we're
Yes,
gonna be
if
here
you
to
are
share
an
with you.
immigrant and you think you have a unique story that we need to hear, you need to inspire and motivate others, just contact the Beton on Facebook or contact Mejame Christabel, or you can contact John Samuel. He's a CEO of a consulting firm. So we are all here to connect. So once you come on this show, you're already part of the family. So you can get to us. You can also contact Elizabeth Agbo-Eta, who is also a co-host of this show. So just contact and tell your story, and we'll bring you in, and you can share your story with everyone else and motivate and inspire people. John, I don't know if you have one last word, but do we have time for one last word?
Yeah, just one last word.
Yes, one last word for our viewers, and your last advice for immigrants here who want to make their way through within the Finnish society and be happy and be successful and have a fulfilled life here in Finland. One last word.
I would say if you are an immigrant in Finland and you are here, remember what brought you here. Don't lose yourself. Don't be carried away. If you are facing challenges, be resilient, be strong, be bold, and never give up. No matter how you face difficulties, never give up. If you are in business, if you are in job, if things are going hard for you, remember why you came here. Don't ever forget why you came here, and never give up. Keep pushing. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. I keep telling people, if there are no solutions, there will never be a problem. So for every problem, there is a solution. You just need to find the right place.
Okay, in any problem, there's a solution. Networking, learn the language, get out there, apply for jobs, meet people, whatever thing you have learned today, just want you to put it into practice. And don't forget, I, your humble host, the Beton and Benjamin Christabel, we're going to be here again after the next Wednesday, like on the 25th.
On the
23rd of December. This is in December, with other guests who are going to share their experience with us. So, guys, you have a nice day and do take good care of yourself. That's it for today, I think.
Thank you.
Right? Okay, yeah, bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everybody. Oh, hey, show you need to know. The Beton is that show. Efficient marketing, your networking, motivation. Everybody, come you all. The Beton is that show.
For how long are you going to sit and wait? For how long do you want to share your success stories? Someone out there is waiting for that opportunity. Are you looking for an environment to share your success stories? To share your business ideas? What are you waiting for? The Beton Show is here to answer all your worries. The Beton Show is just toward business innovation, networking, education, and motivation. It creates an environment for business persons like you to share your business ideas and your success stories. The Beton Show creates awareness for business opportunities. It enables you to do proper networking and gain exposure in whatever you do. It creates an online presence and motivate others to keep doing what they love. Do you want to be left out? Follow the Beton Show live every week on Wednesdays and learn new innovative ideas that will make your business grow. Learn how to network properly and what it takes to become a successful business person. The Beton Show is here to change lives. It's here to change mindset. Don't be left out.
Efficient marketing, your networking, motivation. Everybody, come you all. The Beton